Welcome back to another episode of Hello Ladies, where feminism meets pro wrestling. I am Sabrina.
And I'm MJ.
And we are here to talk about AEW's All Out. And MJ was actually there this weekend. So we have the insiders-ish perspective.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but it was a lot of fun. I'm not going to lie.
That's why I added the ish.
I know. I appreciate that.
Most people don't know this, but MJ's actually Tony Khan. That's she's just feeding stuff direct.
I'm the woman behind the curtain. Everyone can be mad at me now about everything.
Oh yes, yeah. You're part of that disciplinary committee. That is a joke, everyone. Do not send hate to MJ or anyone else for that matter. Oh. But yeah, I mean, you got to see one hell of a show.
Yes. Oh my God. It's actually really funny because as we were leaving StarCast, we stayed at StarCast way too late and we barely made it in time for the 0 hour. But as we were leaving, I was filming an Instagram story. I didn't end up uploading it because we got so busy. But it was like, what's going on, everybody? I got like Hambo and I got all these people. And like, I was like, and all four of us are going to have a great time and All Out. And then some dude yelled, I didn't get it on camera though. He's like, yeah, you're going to be the only four there. Have fun. And I was like,
Wow.
all right. I'm sitting there like, I was just like, we didn't think anything of it, but it kind of kept coming up later, because after the show was so badass, and I was like, well, these four people had a great fucking time.
Yeah, I was thinking like that show was so awesome, even if it was just like you four there. I mean, first of all, you automatically would have been up around the ring, which would have been an upgrade. So
Yeah, exactly.
your own personal wrestling show.
Actually, my friend niece, you probably might have seen her. Actually, she had the Danhausen face paint in the fourth row. Yeah,
Yes.
yep. So she was in like the fourth row, and so she was hilarious. She actually shipped the chair to herself, or she like packaged it like a little present this morning. It was the
Mm-hmm.
funniest thing.
Yeah, I would do the same thing. I do not blame her for that.
No, it was awesome. Like she is like so creative. I said shipped, but I meant like she made it like into like an actual like piece of like a baggage that she could throw into the plane. Like she wrapped it up. It was like the coolest thing.
I thought she just mailed it to herself because she was like, I don't trust this airline to get this to me.
Yeah, I
Yes,
know.
it is.
Like she literally bought a tarp and then some tape and then just like worked like her MacGyver-esque magic and it just like it looked professional, it looked legit. It looked like U-Haul or something would have just I don't know. Anyway, it was awesome.
It's funny because like I noticed the Danhausen face paint. I was like, oh, I wonder if MJ knows. Like all Danhausens know each other, right?
Yeah, it is. It's our cult leader,
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
actually we have a new nickname for Danhausen, but I don't think he knows about it yet. It's Clam Daddy, and that is because because we shell out all of our clams to him.
You might want to work that one.
I think that's why we love it because every time we've said it to anybody, they're like, "What?"
You know, money, when you said clam, shelling out your clam, that money was not what came to mind at first.
What do you mean, Sabrina? I'm not following.
Vagina, everybody. I was like, I don't know how so many people will feel about this. Danhausen being at the top of that list.
I was still holding out hope. I know I'm going to start jumping around a little bit on the card, but I always secretly hold out hope that Danhausen will appear,
Me
even
too.
though I knew he wasn't because we caught him at StarCast and I'm leaving early. I'm like so tired right now. So we knew he was going to fly back home. But in the back of my mind, I was like, was it a swerve? Is he going to come out at the end of this and hug Orange Cassidy?
Right? Yeah. Apparently not. No. Had to go home to prepare to buy his blimp, I guess.
That's true.
He collected enough human monies and teeth for one day.
Yep. It was such good luck too. We were literally walking in the doors of Starcast and he was getting his stuff together by the door to walk out.
That is so weird. Like, it's always so funny when you see like wrestlers in the wild, even though that's not technically in the wild yet, but like doing normal-ish things, like being like, I'm leaving because I'm tired.
Yeah, he like literally turned to me and said that he's like, oh, like I'm so exhausted right now. I can't wait to go home. And I in his normal voice, you know? And I was just like, it still always trips me out. I don't know, it's just funny.
Mm-hmm. You're like, this means we're besties now, right?
I know, I was thinking about that too. I was like, the three of us there doing our photo. I was like, this is just best friends forever. New trio champions. Let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, the next time you see him, you really should just bring him like one of those bestie bracelets with the beads.
I should.
Bestiehausen.
Bessiehausen, BFFhausen.
Mm-hmm. He'd
That's so
probably wear
funny.
it for at least, while you were in eyesight.
I do want to bring him something sometime. I'll have to think about it and make him something cool.
I do really regret that. So my mom kept all of my baby teeth. Um, and I regret throwing them out when I inherited them back. Um, because as soon as like I really got into Danhausen, I was like, I could have just given that man a little toy chest with all of my baby teeth in it.
God, I don't even know where my baby teeth are now that you just
I mean, your parental units might have just, thrown them away like a normal adult and not kept them in their jewelry box for years.
I don't know. I feel like it might be in there. That's funny though. I wonder what Danhausen uses for his fake teeth.
Maybe misshapen Tic Tacs. He's just there like,
Little white after dinner mints, just
yeah,
like cut up.
so minty.
I just feel like they taste like rock candy for some reason. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I guess you'd have to be careful because you wouldn't want to do like something like Pop Rocks or something. Start
If they're opening, like the mic gets too close to the inside of the ring, ha! You hear like that popping noise.
sound, yeah. What the hell? Are those exploding teeth? Is this an exploding teeth match? Which sounds horrifying.
It does. I mean, exploding barbed wire sounds horrible too, but exploding teeth is another level.
Yeah. So for All Out, what did you
Mhm.
think of the pre-show? Or Zero
So
Hour?
I missed most of the pre-show because I was meeting up with some wrestle talkers, but I just watched most of the matches right now, actually, now that I got home.
Mhm.
For everyone listening to this too, I literally just like flew in like the last 2 hours and then ran to jump on the podcast. I was like, I got a second win. Let's do this.
Yeah, MJ's a real like trooper slash badass because I was completely being like, expecting we'd be doing this tomorrow, but that's fine. Um,
Yeah. For the pre-show, I was happy that Hangman won in the Battle Royal.
mhm.
I'm hoping that sets him up for more things just because it feels like we just haven't really seen much of him at all. I don't know if that has anything to do with some of the Punk stuff, and then that was taking place, and then I don't know, who knows. That's another can of worms. But it was cool to see him win the Battle Royal. It was cool to see Scorpio Sky in there. It was cool to see like Sean Spears in there. I thought of you. I was watching at first when it started and the best friends came out, and I was like, Sabrina. So I was happy about that. Yeah, what I did see that match, it was pretty good. I feel like they might be making like a little bit of a push for Brian Cage, it feels like, because he was like the last two in that match. I don't
Yeah,
really know what they're doing with the Sting makeup, and then like the Sting pants are throwing me off a lot too. I don't know if he's like doing training with Sting or something. I know he's a huge Sting fan, but I don't know if they're gonna do anything with that. Like 'cause he keeps wearing the attire and the face paint.
the face paint also reminds me a bit of Warrior. Like, um, yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. Every time I see him, I'm just like, what is this? Like, didn't somebody have like a gimmick where every time they'd come out, came out doing somebody else's gimmick.
Oh my God, that sounds so familiar, but I can't think of it.
It wasn't Dolph, right? No, he came out to nothing for a while.
Yeah.
So, but
Oh, I can't think of who it is.
yeah, I feel like somebody did that. Um,
It wasn't Santino, was it? I can't think of who it would be.
maybe. I was like, my, I don't think it was R-Truth, but it seems like something R-Truth would also do.
That's why my mind jumped to Santino. I was like, Santino could pull that off.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't remember who it was, but I know someone did it, and I'm pretty sure it was definitely WWE. But that's what it kind of reminds me of, like him just not, it feels like he doesn't know who he is.
Yeah, I feel like they need to. He feels like a weird fit for the Mogul Embassy too. To be
Yeah,
honest with you, that whole thing doesn't feel like it fits for him.
no. Just put him in with the meat slapping division at this point.
Which, by the way, no, we're jumping around a little bit, but that was, I don't know if it translated on TV as much or for the pay-per-view, but the crowd was crazy and there were like 6 different variations throughout that match of meat-related chants. It was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, we definitely heard them, and the match was amazing. Like, I feel like that match started off and people were like, oh yeah, this is cool. And like 5 minutes and people were like,
I'm curious of your thoughts on this. So all the guys and I were talking about it. It was like XLJ, B-roll. We were all just chatting about it during the match. And we were like, has Miro and maybe even Hobbs, have we ever seen a better match from either of those two than what we saw? Because in my at least recent recollection of like Miro's AEW run, I can't think of a match of his that I really liked better than that. I just felt like they left everything out there, you know?
yeah, definitely. It's safe to say for Miro's AEW run that was his best.
Mhm.
I would argue same thing with Hobbs. The only thing that really comes like to mind is that ladder match they did a year and a half, 2 years ago with
Mhm.
that Wardlow one. So
Mm.
yeah, I would say that this was probably his best match. 100%.
I loved it. It
Yeah.
was so good. And
It was ridiculously entertaining, and just like the crowd added a lot to it with the meat slapping.
I'm gonna be honest with you too, that was probably the match on the card that I was least excited about. And then even though I love Hobbs,
Mhm.
I was just like, I don't know how I feel about it, you know?
Yeah. Sorry, I got an eyelash in my eye for anyone who's watching, and for MJ. Like that's why I'm here, like tucking
I
my.
was starting to pause. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm still listening. I just can't see a blind.
Get the eye patch. Just do the hangman.
Yeah. All of a sudden that just comes out. My shirt changes. I have a
And you
hangman shirt somewhere.
hangman's music hits.
Mm-hmm. Suddenly there's a horse.
A screen comes down, there's like the horse running behind you. Oh my gosh.
I
All
mean,
right.
I was like, we both have a wave to it. Mine are curls. He has a wave to his hair, so I have a connection there. But yeah, that was a badass match. It was one of the ones I was looking forward to the least as well, I would say. The one that I was not looking forward to basically at all was Samoa Joe versus Shane Taylor. Or was it Sean
Yeah,
Taylor?
Shane.
Shane, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not familiar at all with his work. I didn't watch Ring of Honor back in the day. I haven't gone back and watched anything other than like random matches with people whom I love. Um,
Yeah.
so like and then yeah, I mean it wasn't, they didn't have a bad match, but it wasn't like the match I was like woohoo about.
Yeah, I agree. I actually do agree with that. I wasn't really blown away with that one either, to be honest. I think that might have been the weakest match on the card, in my opinion, even though I do love me some Samoa Joe. And
Mhm.
I wasn't super familiar with Shane Taylor either before this, even though I know he's like a huge Ring of Honor legend. Like it's on my bucket list this year to jump more into like some older Ring of Honor matches because same as you, like I'm oh, it's like kind of cringy to say that, but I like right now with everything going on in current events, but I'm a big CM Punk fan, big Danielson fan, so I've gone back and watched matches of theirs, some Adam Cole stuff, like so I've seen bigger matches and things and watched some feuds that I love from the different wrestlers. But yeah, I really want to go and do like a deep dive and actually like there's so many like just amazing talents in Ring of Honor throughout the years. I want to like do a deep dive.
While you're doing your deep dive, Colt Cabana has a road, I was gonna say like a Road Warriors type of thing. He did basically like a behind the scenes documentary of like when he was traveling with Ring of Honor, and he's on there. Brian Danielson, some other folks too that I am not thinking of off the top of my head, but people who are like big in um Ring of Honor, and you get like random people popping up, and but it's literally just showing what life on the road was like 15 years ago, 10 years ago.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
gosh, yeah, it's got to be like 15 years ago. And like all these guys just sleeping in a room together. And
Okay, I just wrote that down. I'm gonna look it up now.
yeah, it's on Colt's YouTube. I think I have it favorited. I'll look and share the link with you. But it's definitely worth the watch. It's a little disjointed because it's like
Uh-huh.
the sections, but
Yeah.
definitely worth the watch.
Sweet. I'm stoked to check it out.
Yeah. Before the start, we were both talking about well, I think actually you were just talking about your love for Colt Cabana, but I am right there with you.
Yeah, so what I was telling Sabrina, so we have a little like cameo in the BT this week, being the elite. And yeah, I'm in the back. You can see my bright orange hair. I'm next to Hambone. Meanwhile, one of my best friends, XLJ, is in the forefront with Ryan, wrapping his legs around Ryan.
Ryan Nemeth.
And yes, Ryan. Oh yes, not my Ryan. That's a good distinction to make. Uh, they do get along, but I'm not like that. But it was hilarious. So I highly recommend watching that for anyone listening that hasn't seen that. It's pretty dang funny.
Mhm.
It's not featured in there, but I went up after XLJ and I was so tired. It was the same day that I flew in that I was like borderline delirious. And I was talking to Cole Cabana, and I feel like I made no sense. I was just like, my one of my prized possessions is like one of your ring sign like headbands. And then he kind of was like, oh yeah. And then he was like, then I think he was trying to continue the conversation, and he was like, oh, is it ring worn? And like was asking all these questions about it. And yeah, it was just cool.
At least you weren't like, you're a pretty man.
Now I'm comfortable with my sexuality to say you're a beautiful man. You are a good looking man.
I think if you had said that to him, you probably would have popped him easily. If you
Well,
had,
I wouldn't have said that. Sorry, I just like stole all over myself for anybody watching this. Um, I that would have been cheating on my man, Dolph
Mhm.
Ziggler. I couldn't have said that with his brother. That's scandalous. Scandal.
Oh, I meant you could have said that to Colt Cabana, who was standing
Oh,
like right there and definitely heard that whole
valid. Yeah, I could have walked up to Cole and been like, "Never mind, Ryan. Let's talk about it."
hand on face, push away.
Honestly, he's such a good sport. He would probably just totally play along with that. Like, they're so funny. That was
Yeah.
crazy cool though. I'm normally like really like on the ball when I meet like talent and stuff like that, and like or just people on the fly. Like I'm good at like riffing off people, but man, I was so exhausted. I feel like watching back that footage would have been like me just being like like I was so like out of it. And like I got to meet Daniel Garcia and then Isaiah Cassidy, who I both love, and I was just like, I don't know what to say right now. You guys are awesome. It
Don't
was
bump
fun.
me, you know.
I know I wanted to do like the
Mhm. My God. Like Daniel Garcia is like everyday life now must have people that just like hump at him.
Oh my God, I was dying laughing watching Daniel Garcia. Was it on Zero Hour where he's like going back to the back doing that too? He's going up the ramp doing that. Oh my God, it was so good. Oh, so good.
Him and Billy Gunn, was it? It must have, yeah, it was at All In, I think. Or was it? No, it was on Collision.
Yeah.
Yeah, their whole exchange was phenomenal. There has been so much wrestling in the past week and a half. Like it is a lot. And especially with AEW stuff, I'm trying to remember where I saw things, like on what show.
I know. I know. I only knew it was Collision because I was on the plane and I was rewatching all the footage. When in airplane mode, I was just going back and watching everything, and I was cracking up because I got like Billy Gunn doing it back to him.
Mhm.
It's so good. Yeah, there was a ton of wrestling this weekend. Like I also went to two GCW shows, and like it was amazing. It was so good. And that's why I'm so dead tired too. We were like go, go, go nonstop. Just like it was so much fun. It was really cool. But
Taking in
I'm
all the wrestling.
taking it all in. I know this isn't all in related, but like if anyone hasn't seen it, at Effie's Big Gay Brunch, he gave a really beautiful speech about the queer community and wrestling, and like how he's like helping to create a place for it. And it was just like me and the crowd. I feel like I cried like at almost every wrestling show this weekend because I was just so overcome with like passion and emotion. And of course, I knew as soon as Effie took the mic, I was like, "You're gonna make me cry, you son of a bitch! I know it." And he totally did. It was like he was honoring like Sunny in the ring, and Sunny started crying because it was just it just pulled on my heartstrings, and it was talking about like for people who feel like giving a place to people who felt like they wouldn't have a place, and like how they've brought in fans who felt like wrestling, wasn't welcoming to them, as fans. And it's just like it hit me so hard. It was really beautiful.
I've heard a little bit about um Effie's brunch, but I saw nothing from it. Um
Mhm.
but yeah, mainly I heard about Sunny Kiss because of the news of, well, Tony Khan confirming that Sunny Kiss's contract was not renewed, which, like, I wasn't surprised, and I'm kind of hoping, like, I was disappointed, but at the same time it makes me very hopeful that Sunny can find a place that will appreciate them and their talents and showcase them.
Yeah, I agree. And there was part of me that was wondering if that's why Sunny was so emotional in the ring too, because it's just you work so hard to get to a point, and then it's like I don't know. I'm not trying to say how I feel like they would have felt, but I feel like I in that position it just felt like with that news coming down around the same day, I feel
Yeah.
like that might have contributed to that. But it was just I don't know. It was just really beautiful for Effie to make a point to say all those beautiful things and just to compliment them like that. It was just yeah, it really warmed my heart. It was really sweet.
And that is always also a good reminder for folks that when you're going to big wrestling events, check it out. Like check and see like what smaller promotions or other wrestling related activities are happening in the area. Because I'm wondering with like them wrestling there with AEW announcing like Wrestle Dream in October, I don't I feel like that's not going to be as big of an event as like an All Out and All In, Double or Nothing, etc. So I'm wondering if you're gonna get the other promotions coming in doing stuff or not. I'm sure the local ones surely will, but
Yeah, I haven't looked. The big promotion of theirs, Defy.
mhm.
Um, so and Defy is incredible too. Like Swerve wrestles up there all the time. Nick Wayne, Darby is of course from the area, so he goes up and wrestles for Defy all the time. So I haven't looked, but yeah, that'd be really sweet. And I was looking at the calendar. I was like, can I make it work? Should I go? I'm from the Northwest too, so anytime it's like that, yeah, it just warms my heart. So I was like really tempted to try to make it happen, but I think I am gonna try to go to Full Gear.
Where will Full Gear? Yeah, I can't talk. Where will Full Gear be?
LA.
LA. That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, no, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll do like Double or Nothing next year.
I would love that so much.
We'll see. We'll see. Um, I have no idea what my life will be like. I'm still trying to deal with the insurance after the tree fell and well,
Oh.
Yeah, for those who don't know, the day after we filmed, giant ass half fourth of my giant ass tree in the backyard fell because lightning struck it and annihilated my pool, which a great aunt of mine commented on the photo on Facebook and said, oh no, did that, like, the photo, the tree is in the pool, like in it, and she was like, oh no, did it poke a hole? And I went, you know, I don't think it actually did poke a hole. However, it decimated it. Like, the entire side is gone, and it did rip it. But poke a hole? No, I don't think it did that.
It kind of reminds me of I can't remember what movie it is, where it's like something happens and they're just like, just roll around, you'll be all right. Just like just walk it off, you know. I'm like, I don't think there's anything coming back from that.
No, 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 no. But I don't remember where I was going with the gigantic ass tree thing.
You were talking about maybe making Double or Nothing or work, but you have to figure out the insurance with the tree.
Oh, yes, yes. So maybe there's a Double or Nothing in my future, but we'll see. There is a WrestleMania in my future. We know that. So, but
yes,
I have it on my, so every year for my birthday, I do. So this year I'm turning 36 in October, and so I make a list of 36 things I want to do while I'm 36. And it's always fun because, like, halfway through the year, I'm just like, I don't want to do some of this shit anymore. But and I will say it was much easier to fulfill this list when I was like, to fill it up when I was in my 20s. Now I'm just like, what? I think I was like, I want to go to night 1 of WrestleMania, night 2, just spacing things out. But yeah, I did put on there that I want to go to an AEW like show, like a pay-per-view show. So
yeah. Have you been to an AEW pay-per-view before?
nope.
Let's go. Well, if you're wherever you're going, I'm going when you go. Guaranteed.
Sounds good to me. Because I think, yeah, my friend that I usually like prod at to go to AEW stuff, I highly doubt I can convince her to get on a plane and fly anywhere for a show. Drive a few hours, sure. Hop a plane, that's probably where she's gonna draw the line.
Yeah. I'm still really curious, since they're doing Full Gear in LA, and then Revolution's typically the next pay-per-view. That's going to be in about March, and that's usually in Sacramento, I believe. Like, was it either Sacramento or San Francisco? It's one of there. It's like near the Bay Area. But then you have Double or Nothing in Vegas. That's a lot of West Coast pay-per-views. I feel like they're going to probably end up staggering it out a little bit. So I feel like I don't know, maybe I'm just spitballing, but like Atlantic City for Double or Nothing, maybe, which would be cool because I've never been to Atlantic City. Why not? I've actually never been that far on the East Coast.
So twice I've like should have gone to Atlantic City, but something happened each time where I was not able to, like, day of. So I have not gone to Atlantic City either. I will say, if you have not been there, whatever your expectations are, lower them drastically.
Have you ever watched Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Oh, I love Always Sunny, yeah.
Like where they go to the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
That's literally the baseline that I'm starting with, just so you know. The rum ham.
Further down than that, really.
Oh, dang, okay.
Especially if it's the winter. Like, it's not a good time. Oh,
maybe they'll do New York. I mean, has AEW ever done a pay-per-view in New York City?
Not in Manhattan. I don't think they've done a pay-per-view in New York. But
where was the first All In? Do you remember? Was that Vegas?
I think so. Definitely West Coast. Definitely
Okay.
Coast. Yeah.
Cool. I'm dream, like, fantasy booking these different locations. Like, what about New York?
Yeah. I mean, they have a huge, like, fan base in New York too, especially with your MJFs, your Chris Statlanders, so on and so forth. There's others too that I just can't think of at the moment, but
The Acclaim's from Jersey, I know. Well, at least I know Bowens is.
yeah, Orange Cassidy's from New Jersey.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I mean, there's something wrong with everyone, so. I'm from Pennsylvania on the eastern side at that, so I'm legally required to shit on New Jersey. So
I was gonna say, is that like a thing in Pennsylvania? You got to rib on Jersey? Yeah.
it's a thing. It's a thing in Pennsylvania or New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. You shit on New Jersey.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
hmm Yeah, my college roommates from there, and she would always just be like, "Sure, Pennsylvania's so much worse than New Jersey." I'm like, "Really? They charge you to leave New Jersey because they know you'll pay it."
That's so funny. Oh my God.
But yeah, I will leave off of the Jersey. I'm sure I'll pepper it in at some other point, but
There's someone like from Jersey who's just like, listen to this. Oh, I actually did crack my knuckle on this one.
to be fair, if you're from New Jersey, the second they heard that I was from Pennsylvania, they had to know it was coming.
They just backed out. Nope.
Nope. Either that or there's like
Denied.
they're filling out the comment section now.
Oh yeah.
You
10
guys
out of 10 would
fluoride
not
in your
listen to it
water.
again.
Um,
That's how I hear rude comments too. Nah.
yeah. And I usually imagine people like typing really close to their faces too, like I don't know why, but that's what I picture. It makes me feel better about trolls, I think.
Yeah, right. I always picture like that scene in South Park, like the dude who was like in his basement, like trolling people on World of Warcraft or whatever, and he's like this, and he's like mom's basement. I always picture that. Yeah.
I mean, both are probably accurate.
I mean, I've never seen them both in the same room at the same time.
um, well, surprisingly, we haven't talked about the first match of All Out, Better Than You,
Is
Baby.
it is it surprising, Sabrina? I was kidding.
I mean, it was so good.
It
Better Than
was.
You,
Oh my
Baby.
God.
Yeah, versus the Dark Order. I love the Dark Order. And I love it when John Silver's being spicy.
Okay, okay.
And
That's
he's
fair.
just like, I'm mean, darn it.
Take me seriously.
Arr. And I'm like, you get him, Johnny Hungy. You get him. It's entirely because of BTE that I'm just like, you're so cute. Spicy, spicy John Silver.
I always think of something, something, Cody Rhodes, you know? Yeah.
Mhm. There's just been so many things that that man has done that is hilarious. Um, I can't boo against him. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, given the right opponents, best friends, I'd be like, I hope you don't win, sir. That would be my booing. I hope everyone has fun, but I hope you don't win.
Uh, I'm gonna take a second to talk about the Better Than You Bebe merch because it was so sweet. Like the shirts they wore out there, like to mimic like the Chicago Bulls jerseys with the color, the Better Than You Bebe, and then the D dot clothesline 23 on the back. I was
Yeah.
this close to buying one. I was like, oh, they're so cool. But yeah, they looked great. The whole match was just fun. It was just really cool to watch. It was like
Yeah.
the perfect I don't want to say palate cleanser, but like the way that Collision, for example, was booked was perfect. Like
Yeah.
after Tony's talk, it was like a lot of fan service with the first two matches, and then it just kind of kept building from there. And I felt like the way they lined up at the card and kind of plotted things out here was like perfect. I wouldn't have changed a thing.
The smartest thing they did was have Daniel Bryan come back. Or,
Oh my God, yes.
yeah.
Yes.
One day I will automatically just call him Bryan Danielson, his actual name. Maybe one day. But yeah, brilliant move on Tony Khan's part. That'll definitely soften the blow.
Oh my God, I'm so glad that I went to Collision too. I lost it when he came out. He's one of my favorites ever. Like, it was so cool.
I feel like he's one of those people where I enjoy being in the arena more when he is there because like the energy he brings.
Yes.
Like you don't like obviously you still get some of it through the TV, but it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love feeding off of the energy that he creates.
Yes. And him coming out to Final Countdown too was just like, oh, we were all like freaking out. The whole arena was just erupting with that theme.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that man. Oh, have you gone back and watched the media scrum at all?
I have not had a chance to, no. I did watch a couple parts with Christian though that like admittedly I'm not a Christian Cage girl,
Mm-hmm.
but damn, he's been so funny the last month that he's been killing me. I love it. So it's like I'm the first to say that I'm just not a Christian fan, but like I'm also the first to admit when somebody's doing a damn good job. And this current like heel
Oh
this
yeah.
current heel run is so damn funny. He's crushing it.
I will say Tony Khan was really good at because he was getting a lot of questions that did not have to
Mhm.
deal with the superstars or wrestlers who were out there.
Yeah.
And it was probably the worst when Christian Cage was out there. I want to say he got like two or three back-to-back questions that were not related to Christian. It had to do with like the booking of All Out and All In, and it had to do someone asked about, Jack Perry, like and we found out he's indefinitely suspended. But and Christian Cage just sat there the whole time with the same like look of like grump on his face. It was wonderful. But Tony Khan was really good at like redirecting the conversation back to the wrestlers and like tying them in. Um
Yeah.
like I feel like because of that he would be a very good I don't want to say dinner host, but like if you were somewhere with him as like a friend and someone was trying to exclude you from the conversation, I feel like he's someone who wouldn't let that happen and he'd rope you back in a very nice way.
Yes.
That
We
was
all need a friend like that.
yeah, that was very much so the vibe that I got from him. Um but Brian Danielson said I guess he had told Bree, "Hey, there might be some stuff happening tonight," and she was like, "Oh, okay," but she didn't like. He apparently didn't give her strong enough of a warning because she watched it with the kids, the strap match,
Oh. Oh.
and he was like, "My son, who's 3, is a maniac. Buddy loved it," and was just like, "Yeah." But Birdie, who is 6, was really upset. And I guess she keeps saying to him, "Daddy, by the time I turn 7, you're going to be done wrestling, right?" And, he was saying that with he's really having to evaluate things because his priorities are just different now. So,
Wow.
Tony Khan said, like, well, maybe you'll be on wrestling on Saturdays now, which will be more, which would be better for your schedule. And he was like, yes, it would be better. So, because he said he doesn't want to miss, the time with his kids. So,
Yeah. Oh, so that gets my wheels turning. Wahaha, because him coming back, having Steamboat's back, supporting a face against a heel when he's part of a heel faction. And like I feel like even right before he got injured too, unfortunately, at Forbidden Door, I was thinking the same thing too. I was like, Danielson's gonna be the first to leave. This cannot last. There's something, and we saw when he was out that those three were able to kind of to maintain that stable, that faction. So it's just only a matter of time.
and he's always felt like it's not like that he doesn't belong because he could fit anywhere, but it it feels like he fits elsewhere. I don't know where that is, but I don't know. Maybe I just don't think he should be in a faction. Maybe that's what it is. I'm just like he is a nice little goat man. Let him do goat things one on one.
Oh my God. That's the thing I love about Danielson is he can be solo or part of a faction and still just be just as strong. And I think that's not the case for everybody. And I think that's the beauty of him as a wrestler and a performer. And like, and on the mic. Oh my God, I love that man. He's so awesome.
Yeah. And I think watching both Total Divas and Total Bellas just like really made me love him even more.
Yes.
Because you got to see a bit of the human as I mean, he made the choice to share his struggles with depression with everyone. Which I mean, that still isn't something that's really talked about for men specifically in society, but it's talked about more so now. And I feel like he was really one of those people like pushing, like, this is something we need to talk about. People need to get help. And, it's really important that men like him, who are like seen as like big tough guys, who will kick your head off, are like, sometimes my emotions are a lot and I need to talk about them with someone.
Yes. And I love that he is someone who is of a smaller stature, but is still of a strong build
Oh yeah.
and still somebody that can like kick ass. So it's not like, I feel like he just represents like the common man in a way, like he's just so down to earth and cool, but he's so intelligent. Like, I just feel like he's the kind of person that can relate to anybody in the world. You bring Bryan Danielson into a room, he can have a personal one-on-one conversation, I genuinely believe, with anybody. And if he doesn't like you, he'll tell you,
Oh
but
yeah.
he'll still be able to find a commonality between, I feel like, anybody.
Yeah, he's definitely someone that I've always heard like, if he does not like you, you know about it. Um
Yes.
and people are like, he could be a dick. And I was just like, well, he's passionate, and people who are passionate can be a little dickish sometimes.
See, I love a straight shooter like that. That's my kind of person, man. Because even if he didn't
Yeah.
like me, I would respect the hell out of him. If this is me in a hypothetical world where I was a wrestler or a coworker of his or whatever.
And not a
Just because
fan who would be completely crestfallen if he was like, I despise your being.
well, I don't know. It made me fall more in love with MJF when I walked past him and he was like, "Don't talk to me." So I guess some people get a pass. I don't know.
Well, MJF is like that restaurant that you go to be insulted. Like, you know what you're getting. Whereas, like, Bryan Danielson is just like, you help the environment and you think I'm garbage? That would be like very different. I think
Yeah, I feel like
that would hurt my feelings. Be like, I need to work on me.
Danielson's definitely the kind of person who would like roast you in front of people because he's so good at that. You've seen him deal with so many people. Like, I always think back to that talking smack clip with him and AJ, where he just roasts him on the spot about being a flat earther and stuff. I'm doing air quotes for anybody, just so don't roast me, please. But quote unquote flat earther. And it's funny too because I love AJ Styles and I love Bryan Danielson, and so it's just really, really funny. But that's the thing that I love about Bryan Danielson. He's a professional, so at the end of the day, he can, and that's kind of how I like to see myself in that way at work. Because there's people I don't get along with, but I can still like be like, you have talents in this area, but I can also see somebody's weaknesses objectively. And so
Yeah.
it's like that's why I love Bryan Danielson because he can literally be like, this person's like badass at this and awesome at this. It's like I just don't like him, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the person he roasts probably the most is his sister-in-law, Nikki. So, and it's just so funny, the two of them.
I used to love watching Total Divas for that reason, to be
Hmm.
honest, and also Total Bellas because I genuinely feel like those two being in each other's lives have made them better people because they are able to bounce things off each other and then take a pause and be like, okay, I wasn't necessarily a full on right, and I'm seeing your perspective. Like I feel like they've had a lot of growth just being in each other's lives.
Yeah, and I think he has been really helpful for Brie, when dealing with her twin, because he is able to be somewhat objective and
Sure.
doesn't always just automatically take her side, and will sometimes be like, well, you did
Yes.
say this to her, and how would you feel if be like, I'll go apologize. We all need someone like that in our lives who's just like, you were kind of a dick to one of the people you love the most.
Yes. Exactly. We really do.
Hmm.
I know we're talking about the strap